In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. In this video, I will be discussing about UK visit visa bank statement requirement in 2022. If you are planning to visit UK, you might be confused about bank statement, how to maintain it, what balance should be left in your bank account, and what about low salary if you are receiving. So many questions might be in your mind, and the answers of those questions have been provided in this video as well as article which I have already published on my website, which is named as wasikanavisi.com. So come to the point. What about bank statement if you are an applicant to UK visitor visa? The first point is importance of a bank statement in UK visitor visa. I myself have applied for UK visit visas on behalf of about 30 applicants, out of which 25 applications remained successful. However, remaining visa applications had no success. From successful visa applications and unsuccessful visa applications, I gained reasonable experience, on the basis of which I am going to provide detailed information about bank statement requirement for a UK visitor visa. Although obtaining a UK visit visa is not a difficult task, but still number of visa applications are refused by visa officer. This happens because of lack of knowledge of applicants to apply for a visit visa. Each category of a visa application demands different requirements which should be met according to the visa application category and other requirements of an applicant. In addition to other documents, bank statement plays a very important role when applying for a visitor visa, and about all the refusals, visa application refusals revolve around bank statement of applicant. Although there is no hard and fast rule about bank balance of applicant applying for a visitor visa for UK, but still there is a formula which I am going to explain later on. The next point is UK visitor visa bank statement requirement. The UK embassy requires from an applicant of UK visitor visa to produce an updated bank statement at least 6 months. It is of at least 6 months. It is better to produce bank statement for more than 6 months in some circumstances. It is recommended to produce bank statement along with account maintenance certificate duly signed and stamped by the concerned bank, printed on its letter headed paper. The next point is bank balance required for UK visitor visa. There is no rule with regard to having minimum amount in bank account of an applicant of a UK visitor visa, nor is such requirement displayed on official website of UKVI. However, there must be a reasonable amount in your bank account to bear all the expenses of your proposed visitor visa, which may include travel, meal, accommodation and other miscellaneous expenses. But still, question is there, what is a reasonable expense? Or what is a reasonable amount? The reasonable amount may vary from case to case. In some cases, the reasonable amount might be £2,000. In some cases, a reasonable amount might be £3,000. In some cases, the reasonable amount might be £4,000, and so on. To understand reasonable amount, the following questions should be kept in mind. Number first, what is your purpose of visit? Either it's a family visit or tourism. In a family visit, the family member in UK may provide accommodation and meal to you. Hence, in a family visit, less money can be shown in bank account as compared to tourism. So the expenses which may incur on accommodation and meal are excluded in this case, because the burden of bearing cost of meal and providing accommodation shifts from you to the shoulder of your family members sponsor in UK. But be noted, your family member should make a sponsorship declaration and write that he is going to provide accommodation and meal to you for the entire duration of your stay. He is also required to provide supporting documents to you, enabling you to produce the same before concerned visa officer. In case of tourism, additional amount is required to be shown in bank account as compared to family visit, because in addition to bearing other expenses, you will also have to bear hotel charges, accommodation expenses and meal expenses as well during your whole stay. The next question is that what is duration of your stay in UK? If you are on your journey of tourism without being financially supported by anyone, you should take into consideration that the number of days of your stay in UK. If you want to stay more days in UK, then you need to show more funds in UK in your bank account, bank statement as compared to stay of few days. The next question is that is anyone is financially supporting for your trip to UK? There might be your parents or your any other relative in country from where you are applying, and the second scenario is your sponsor who is based in UK. If anyone either from the country of applying or from any person company in UK is going to sponsor, financially support you for your trip, in such case there would be no problem if you show less amount in your bank account. The next question is that if someone is financially supporting for your trip, to what extent he is financially supporting you? There might be full financial support or partial financial support. Full financial support may include your travel expenses, airline expenses, accommodation, meal and other expenses during your whole stay. The partial financial support may include just accommodation in UK and nothing else. In full financial support, if full financial support is provided, less bank balance can be shown in bank account. In case of partial financial support, the bank balance should be more as compared to full financial support. The next point is that how much bank statement is required for UK visa approval. You should keep double, triple or more than that of your estimated expenses of your proposed trip to UK. For example, you have estimated expenses of your trip as £3,000. You should have at least £6,000 or £9,000 or more than that. It is not a fixed rule, but it is good to follow this formula. Total expenses for UK visitor visa and how much money is required to travel to UK. To know what exact amount of money you should have in your bank account, it depends on number of factors provided below. By which airline and which class, either economy or business class, you are going to travel to UK. By which airline and which class, either economy or business class, you are going to travel back to your native country. How many days you are going to stay in UK. What standard of hotel and in which area you are going to stay in which cities, areas you are going to visit in UK, how much expensive food you would eat. And the seventh point is that what additional expenses would you bear including transportation. As an average, if you want to stay in UK for 14 days, in an average hotel, you may have to spend £2,500 to £4,000 in total. The detail of estimated and average expenses for UK trip for 14 days is as under. Detail of expenses amount in pounds. Airline expenses might be £1,000. Hotel charges might be maybe £800. Food expenses, these all the expenses which I am going to which I have explained is just for 14 days. Food expenses £700. Transportation and miscellaneous expenses £1,200. The total expenses may be £3,700. Again, it is stated that above said expenses are not fixed and may vary depending upon case to case, detail of which has already been provided above. The expenses for a UK visit trip for 14 days may be less than £3,700 and may be more than that. Impact of your income and expenses on your bank statement for a UK visitor visa. When you apply for a visitor visa online, in addition to other questions, you are also asked to answer the questions about your income and expenses, which are very important questions in view of visa officer, because the visa officer evaluates your financial circumstances by calculating your income and expenses and comparing it with balance amount lying in your bank account. The visa officer also takes into consideration any large credits and debits entries in your bank account. After evaluating your financial circumstances, if visa officer remains unsatisfied, your visa application can be refused. However, if visa officer remains satisfied with your financial circumstances and think that your stated income and expenses match with the balance amount lying in your bank account and also match with the credits and debit entries, your visa application can be accepted and you can be granted UK visitor visa. Not only bank statement but other factors are also taken into consideration by the visa officer. If you are having a low balance in your bank account and just for obtaining UK visitor visa, you ask someone to deposit in your bank account a certain or heavy amount, your visa application can be refused on this score alone. If no satisfactory explanation with regard to such credited amount along with proof has been provided to the visa officer, because visa officer thinks that such certain or heavy amount credited in your bank account does not belong to you and same has been credited just to get success in visa processing. So if you are a genuine applicant and have any genuine heavy credit or debit entries in your bank statement, same should be explained in detail to avoid from visa refusal. How to explain proof any genuine heavy credit or debit entry in your bank statement. The first, credit entry. If you have any heavy credit entry, means large deposits in your bank account, you must explain the source of such credited amount and attach relevant supporting document. For example, you have sold any property and received its sale consideration. You must explain it in your cover letter and online visa application form so that such amount is received against selling the particular property, any particular property. Besides explaining source of amount, you must attach proof of ownership of your property and sale agreement executed between you and purchaser along with their translation in English if these documents are not in English. Next, debit entry. If there is a heavy debit entry, means large withdrawn money, you should also explain it with supporting documents. If you are unemployed in any department, what can be done in this case? If you are employed in any department, it is recommended that your monthly salary should be directly transferred in your bank account so that visa officer may not have any suspicion about your employment and salary. If you are self-employed or own any business, you should keep financial record digitally. Do all the transactions through bank so that you would be able to easily prove your business and credit or debit interest. If you are a landlord and deriving your income from tenants or by selling properties, if you are a landlord and own various properties and have rented out your properties, you must explain your source of income either from rent or from selling the properties. Furthermore, you should receive your rent from the tenants directly in your bank account. In support of your version, you must attach rent agreements with tenant along with proof of ownership of the properties and receipts of taxes paid if available. What about joint account for UK visitor visa? It is always recommended that you should have bank account solely in your own name. However, joint bank account with your family member can be accepted, but his written consent should be attached with your visa application, allowing you to access all these funds. But be noted, it is not an ideal situation. The next point is visit visa refusal on less salary, less income and less savings. If you are receiving your monthly salary in your bank account but the salary you are receiving is too much low, there is severe apprehension that your visa application would be refused because of high expenses of your UK trip. In this situation, direct transfer of money's monthly salary in your bank account will be of no avail. Example is provided here that, for example, total expenses on your proposed visit are £1,500 and your monthly salary is just £200. Your monthly household expenses are £120, meaning thereby that you save only £80 per month. In 6 months, if it is calculated, you would be able to save just £480. So in this situation, your visa application will surely be refused because the visa officer would think that you are not a genuine visitor, because no one can spend on his tourism trip 3 times more than he saved in 6 months.